Hey everybody, it's Erin from the Impatient Gardener, and it's spring. We have not done a tour for, gosh, months since last summer because there's been really nothing to show you, but there is finally so much happening here. In fact, there's so much happening that everything is a bit of a mess here. But you know, I'm all about keeping it real, so I thought let's just show you around the place, warts and all, and trust me, there's a lot of warts right now. So that if you're feeling like you're a little overwhelmed in your garden right now, just know that I think everybody is right now, and it all comes together soon. And what doesn't come together, you sort of learn to live with, because sometimes you just can't get it all done. As you can see, the ferns, the ostrich ferns in the woods behind me are probably 4 feet tall now. They'll get another 2 feet tall, but this all happened in the last maybe 2 weeks. Now I'm going to walk you over to, we're just going to start with warts right away. So this is my temporary greenhouse, and if we can get the camera in here, you will see everything that's inside of here, which is insane amounts of plants. These are plants that I grew from seed, that I've been sent for trials, that I bought for various containers and things that I haven't gotten around to planting yet. It's huge. Outside of that, all here on the ground around me, these are just the dahlias that I'm going to put in the front border off the patio. Here's the sweet peas over here. It's a mess. It'll all get in the ground at some point. We don't know when. Okay, now we're just going to take a little tour through the garden. By the way, grab yourself a drink if you care to drink along with the video. One of the things you might notice in this garden is you might be able to see these poles behind me here. And we used to have 3 viburnums there. And I pulled them all out. They were all suffering from verticillium wilt. But I'm replacing this with something very cool. We're going to put in 6 columnar hornbeams that are going to eventually grow into kind of a hedge. And I'd like to raise the bottom of that hedge a little bit. And this will just provide a little bit of screen. This is our neighbors right here, and we love our neighbors. But you know, a little bit of screening kind of helps your garden feel a little bit more enclosed, and I think that's a good thing here. This garden is looking okay. I mean, I wouldn't say it's great, and I certainly haven't gotten around to weeding in this one. The climbing hydrangea on the garage, I think, is doing great. That's, I think, the 3rd or 4th year for it, so it's doing really well for that. I'm looking for, the idea is I'd like that to cover the entire garage eventually. I moved this. There's just chickweed all over this bed. Fortunately, chickweed is easy to pull out. This is a obelisk, trellis, whatever you want to call it, that we built for the vegetable garden several years ago. It's been many colors. I painted it black and stuck it here because I don't need it in the vegetable garden anymore, but there's like 3 or 4 clematis that grow right here that'll come popping through it. This garden is sort of starting to do its thing. You'll notice that right here, this is a bush non-vining clematis. Next to it is a tree peony. It looks like I only see maybe 1 or 2 buds on the tree peony this year, which is too bad because it's such a beautiful flower. Over here, we've got my favorite clematis, which is Guernsey Cream, with big fat buds on it. So I would expect to see this blooming soon. And we've got another non-vining clematis over here that's about to tip over. And that's what I want these to do. If I wanted them to stand up, I would have to support them. But I like these tipping over and sort of falling over the rocks because I think that's pretty. Here on the patio, there's some sad things that have gone on here. I believe that I've lost every one of the lavenders that lines this bed. I'm letting them in there because I don't have anything to replace them with yet. I talked to so many people who lost so many lavenders and so many roses this year that I wasn't alone in that. I think it was a very difficult winter. So that is unfortunate because they were beautiful. I will probably give those one more try and see how they go because I have successfully overwintered lavender in this garden before. So maybe this winter was just a fluke. In this garden, I'm just going to pop in here because this is a new urn. I wrote about this on the blog not too long ago. I replaced the old urn that was here. Actually, the old urn is still sitting over there waiting to get repurposed. It's all broken at the bottom. Maybe somebody can find a way to use it. But I put in this urn, and I just planted this up this weekend, and I think it's going to be quite pretty, because keep in mind that all the plants that grow in this bed get probably 3.5 or 4 feet tall, including there's a clematis right here, Princess Diana, that I sort of wind around this. And I planted this, I'll do a different video on this at some point, but I planted this with vertico grass. This is Jazz Hands Loropetalum. This is a new Euphorbia. If you're familiar with Diamond Frost Euphorbia, there's Diamond Frost, which gets about, I don't know, maybe this big. And there's Diamond Delight, which is a smaller version. Well, this is a new plant that Proven Winners is coming out with next year called Diamond Mountain. And supposedly it gets about 30 inches tall. So I'm giving it a shot here. And then I've got 2 of the Vista Supertunias in the back. The Vista Supertunias are really vigorous, so those should really get big. And I think this whole thing is just kind of going to be draping by the time we get into summer. This grass is supposed to get 4 to 5 feet tall. So we'll see how it all goes. It's always an experiment. In here again, the Virginia Bluebells are just finishing up, and pretty soon, you know, these are such tough plants that as soon as I get sick of them, I don't worry about the foliage on these. I just cut them back and they come back just fine. So I don't worry about these like with daffodils, where you really need to leave that, and tulips, where you need to leave that foliage standing. Over here, look, I have more plants. These are for, almost all these are for a specific project that I hope is coming up this weekend. A couple of other things, there's a few samples that I received in here that haven't gotten in the ground yet. But this is just yet another holding area for plants. I did plant up the 2 rose planters in the driveway. I had to replace the roses. One of the roses did not make it through the winter, and one did, but I wanted matching roses, so I just replanted them both with actually one that I sort of wished I had got. Anyways, this is, it's called Desdemona, which is a beautiful rose all on its own, but we used to have a cat named Desdemona, so it's sort of fun to have a plant with a meaning. And then, of course, I've got Morning Glory Charm Supertunia, and this is Diamond Frost Euphorbia. So I think that'll be pretty and simple in that area. If you turn around, I'll just show you something really ugly, which is over here. We took down our window box, and this was what was lurking behind it. You know, when we put it up, I don't remember exactly where we found what we used as a French cleat, but it clearly wasn't stainless. So that explains why we've got rust dripping down the side of our house. So we have to kind of, if anyone has a great solution for how to get those rust stains off of vinyl siding, let me know. Anyways, we just ordered some new heavy-duty French cleats, so we're going to remedy this situation, get the window box back up. It was actually a worthwhile effort because it was the first time that I've had the window box down, so I could clean it out, clean out the whole self-watering system, and move on. So, but I did get almost everything planted in here. I did that this past weekend, and I'll do a whole video on what's all planted in here, but it'll start coming together soon. I have not planted this section yet because I haven't figured out what plants I want to put there, and that's a very big section, so I have to be a little choosy in what I choose because I can't pick something that's really expensive because I need a lot of plants for that. The rhubarb has been fabulous this year, and I have been making delicious, if I do say so myself, rhubarb pie. But let's all take a look at my favorite thing in the garden right now, which is the Espalier pear tree. This is an Asian pear. We planted it here last year, and it seems happy. It is flowering. It's absolutely beautiful, and I'm just thrilled with how it's looking. We will probably not get any pears this year because Asian pears require a pollinator, and I did not plant one yet. That's coming eventually, but I have not planted one yet. So unless there's another pear tree in the neighborhood somewhat nearby, I wouldn't expect to see too many pears. But check out the climbing hydrangea. Again, it's looking great. It might be the only thing holding up this ash tree, which, like all of the ash trees in our yard, has succumbed to emerald ash borer. We've taken down many of them. When this one looks terrible and is dangerous to have the top of it there, we will cut it above where the vine is growing, because I'm not going to take that vine down, and the vine probably will be sturdy enough to hold it up. This garden is it's always sort of a work in progress, but there's beautiful, incredible hydrangeas in here. This is a Venus dogwood that, let's see how the buds are doing here. Well, actually, it's just starting to flower right now. They've opened up. I think those are calyxes on this. They'll be lime green at first, and then the flowers get maybe 3 inches across, big white flowers, and it's beautiful. And this is a tree that I ordered via mail order, I don't know when, not too long ago, and it has really thrived. And if you order a tree by mail order, it comes pretty small. Area, which this is not a garden that I've put a lot of plants in, but I have put a lot of daffodils in it, and I try to do all pink and white in here. A few little yellow ones popped up, but I'm so happy with. So happy. All the daffodils are pretty much over, but I'm so happy with how it looks. So that's the main garden, but now I'm going to take you over to what has been consuming most of our time. So here we are in what has been consuming most of our time, and what explains partly why a lot of the other garden hasn't been attended to like it should be so far. This is the new vegetable garden. Actually, there's a long way to go here. But what you see here is the bottom course of all of the beds that are going to be in here. All the large beds will be vegetable beds. The small beds are going to be cutting flower beds. There will be something here in the middle. I don't exactly know what it's going to be. Maybe a table and chairs, maybe something else. Eventually there will be a small fruit area growing along the 2 edges, and the whole thing will be fenced. We will be raising these up to about 20 inches. So they'll be quite high, which will make it easy to garden. It gets a little expensive when you're building them, but I'm not getting any younger, and I appreciate not having to bend over. But it's very exciting. It took us a long time to get everything perfectly level and laid out exactly how we want it in here. So it's exciting to see it this far, and we've got a ways to go, but I'm really looking forward to showing this, and there will be many more videos on this area. So that's what I have for you today. I hope you're feeling great about your garden, even if it's not in the best shape, because gardens never are, and we all get to what we're going to get. So get out there, spend some time in your garden, and we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.